Alright, so everyone's ready to start. Cool. Call the meetings to order for the 55th term of the Student Government Senate. If I can have everybody stand, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Aldridge, if you'd like to lead off.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And if everyone has their clickers. Just click one or any button really. The concept of these clickers are you can click whatever number you want as long as it falls within the guidelines of 1 is present. If you click 2, it's fine, it'll work for this, but if you click yes, no, maybe, then you can change your vote. It's the last click you put in counts. Make sure everyone clicks in, and it's not like
Anika.
right, so just don't worry, like these are not your permanent clicker numbers, they'll be changed again once you have your checklist and your home count. But everyone's clicked in?
No.
If you just push it with your nail maybe, yeah, no. Press them really hard. And it's over here by the way, all the things are over here. That's fine. Miss Brianna Ramirez is in the audience, giving you a vote. Okay, that was the other. Is that the other one clicker?
Yeah.
27 is the right one.
47 I have.
47 is the wrong one.
That wasn't me.
Alright, really quick. What I'll do is I'll just restart it because I have no idea what 47 is. So just don't worry about this one, we'll delete it. And since everyone's able to do it. Cool. Run it again. And again, the thingy's over here, don't need to over there. And it's really, it's IR based, it's like a remote control, you don't really have to think about it. Is that everybody? Everyone's cooked in. Alright, so, and I'm also present, because I'm chairing your meeting. So with the vote count of 41. Cool. Moving on down your lovely agenda will be the oath of office. If I can have everybody stand, please take the oath of office. Thank you. Alright, it's going to be written right here in bold, just read along. And then, obviously, insert your name where your name is, and also your position is senator of your respective college. Everyone can read it? Yeah? Cool. Raise your right hand. As a member of the student government, well actually I'll say it for you and you guys can. As a member of the student government of the University of South Florida.
As a member of the student government of the University of South Florida.
I state your full name.
I, Senator Rodriguez.
Do hereby affirm to uphold the office of.
Do hereby affirm to uphold the office of.
To abide by the student body constitution.
To abide by the student body constitution.
To uphold the statutes incorporated therein.
To uphold the statutes incorporated therein.
And to represent the student body to the best of my ability.
And to represent the student body to the best of my ability.
Thank you. You've been sworn in as a your term actually starts on the 5th. This is your first day of business. By you're given power by the Constitution. So So, additions, deletions, and or clarifications to the orders of the day. This is your agenda. I will not take the motion from anybody who's returning, only from a new person. And you say, I move to approve the agenda, or I move to amend the agenda, whatever way you see fit. I'll wait. If you can just take it.
Michael Mulligan, I move to approve the agenda as is.
Any objections? Seeing no objections, the agenda is approved. Open forum. Would anybody like to address your body? Miss Morgan.
Hi, all new senators. I know some of you heard about my dating life earlier, but I'm Jessica Morgan, and I'm the assistant director in the student government advising office. Gary Inca is the director, and we have two graduate assistants, and Miss Tammy, who you'll meet, is our office manager. I just want to welcome all of you. Our full-time jobs are really fantastic, and that we get to advise student government. And so we have different responsibilities, so we're really excited to work with you all this year, and welcome to student.
Anybody else? Open forum. Senator, or Mr. Hamed.
I'll just come right here. What's up, new Senate? Welcome and congratulations. I just want to introduce myself. My name is Sammy Hamed. I'm the ranking justice on the Supreme Court. I just want to tell you about what our branch does, just in case you don't know yet. We have 7 justices, the chief, senior ranking, and then 4 associate justices. We do parking appeals every other Wednesday, where students just try to get out their parking tickets and hand to us. We have meetings every Wednesday if you want to come by and learn about what we're doing. We do a lot of work with a lot of the Senate committees, mostly UCGA on 10th days, and the other collaborations that we can do with JC, whether it be a mock trial or things like that. If you do want to work with the judicial or any other branch, feel free to approach us. Our door is always open. Actually, it's been closed lately, so no, but it'll be open now, so just come on in and introduce yourself. So, yeah, good luck.
Anybody else for open forum? Alright, well, formally, I'd like to congratulate all of you. It's a big endeavor you're taking on. Please don't do these Tuesday night senators unless you really have to. In the new senator introduction, I'll actually explain a couple things before we get started, and then hopefully you guys can ball rolling and finish off strong before midnight. Let's do this. Because ours lasts until like 11. But, so any questions before we, general questions? Alright, so new senator introduction. So all of you guys, most of you guys have been to the actual, I guess, intro session. You should all know what these people do, because that's what you're going to be doing on your first meeting. There's no other really point of relevant business you're here for. As long as you're all comfortable with every one of these positions, you understand what they all entail, you understand what they all demand, honestly, just stop us if you don't, because I'd rather you all feel comfortable with knowing what these positions are, and ask questions instead of just saying, hey, we'll just vote however my friend votes. Don't do that. But yeah, so first question I'd like to address is the question people have been asking. Yes, you do have to come over the summer. Like your term starts summer, then into fall, then into spring. So all of you are supposed to be here for the summer. However, if you cannot make it in the summer, you can email your new pro tempore, whoever it might be, or even Adam to write down in case you forget, saying that you will not be here. You can appoint your own alternate senator, so you can pick someone from your own college, as long as they are in the college you're representing, that's fine. And as long as they're standing students and they can sign the same thing you got to sign. So as long as they're taking the minimum credit hours, you should put out your GPA. So, yeah.
Mazda told me that they didn't have to be.
If you just stand and say it.
Mazda told me that they didn't have to be.
Your name, because they had a record.
Elizabeth Guerra, senator for the College of Behavioral and Community Sciences. I asked Mazda about appointing the senator, the alternate senator, and she told me that they didn't have to be part of the same college.
From the best of my knowledge, they do have to be from the same college. Just because it doesn't make any sense if Arts and Sciences then has engineering represented. You get it? So, just conceptually, that's the only thing. Cool. Alright. But yeah, so if you can't appoint your own, someone will be appointed for you. Kind of sounds like a court case, but yeah. And so we'll just pretty much run down the list of whoever did not make it into your Senate college, or as a senator into your college. We'll just go and knock on their door and say, hey, do you still want to, try for alternate over the summer? In the summers, where you do a lot of your work, guys, you'll be confirming the entirety of the executive branch, pretty much. Any justices that are available, you'll confirm them as well. And you'll be confirming you'll be actually approving a lot of legislation about their structure, how you want to function. So you'll pretty much have a complete overview of all the statutes and see where you'd love to change things. Other than that, I'm pretty sure Mr. Aldridge covered in depth everything else. Just don't be afraid. So one big thing, like my biggest, like the only thing I hate about people is if they did not voice their concern. It just bothers me because I mean you have a voice. No one can do anything to you. I have a gavel. I'll escort them out of the room. No one can really stop you from saying what you want to say. Just speak up honestly. Like don't just vote no. Like it's not funny. Haha. Like doesn't make any sense. So just if you want to vote yes, just have an explanation if anyone asks you. Because all your vote counts are also public record. So on the SU homepage right now, you can look on there and see every vote. So you can see how everyone's voted before. We used to have a clerk who did it for us, many clickers, lovely. But yeah, I mean, just know that you're all important guys, all in your own little way. And other than that, anyone have any questions about these positions? Anything, even arbitrary questions, I don't care. Like, the more comfortable you feel with that. Sir, and you can just state.
Chris Johnson, Arts and Sciences. Several of the senators, myself included, we weren't informed with enough time, 48 hours in advance, that we could run for chairs of certain committees. So would you allow certain senators to be nominated tonight?
Sure. Now that question is more of a would you allow? So I don't make rules, I don't break rules, and I can't actually turn a rule off. That's your power. So as a Senate, what you have is you have a statute that says 48 hours before the actual meeting, so 40 hours before this meeting, you must have nominated yourself or someone nominated you. Then the nomination pool closes. Now, I understand there could have been a technical difficulty with the emails, and so some people did not get them. That's fine. That's honestly, it happens. That's on the Senate, so it's on you guys to say, yes, we would like to suspend said statute and allow for the nomination pool to be reopened. Again, I don't recommend, whenever you can, not break rules, or not, suspend rules, try your best. But in this case, I can understand why you have a concern, and that's a very valid concern. So again, it's on the Senate on however they'd like to handle said situation. Mr.
My name is Ahmed Yusuf, and I'm the Senate for College of Arts and Science, and I would like to suspend the rule of opening nomination to the floor for the people that they had technical difficulty.
Alright, so what you're looking at is Senate ROP 10.1.4. Senators may then present nominations for any office position in writing to the Senate President no later than 48 hours prior to the meeting. Your motion would be to suspend said ROP. If you could just,
Yes.
I can't make motions.
Yes.
So
I motion.
Thank you. So moved is also like we use as a political term. So just so moved means exactly what you said. Any objections to suspending it? And obviously, like I like discussions. If you guys would like to discuss, I understand why you're, removing it. That's fine. But if you all have a clear understanding, that's fine as well. Any objections to suspending said ROP? Mr. Romero, if you could state your objection for the record.
My objection is just that I'd rather have a conversation about it, not because I don't, not necessarily because we won't end it with the same conclusion, just because the same thing that you stated. You have certain rules that govern you, and I think you need to take it. It needs to be taken seriously when you just decide to suspend the things that govern you, because then you have nothing to go off of if you suspend things all the time. So, I mean, as the first motion in Senate, I think it's just something that we should discuss. I don't really know. I kind of want to hear further on what the technicalities were, and what had happened further. So,
Do you rescind your motion? Rescind means you take back your motion for discussion. And okay, so really procedurally, what happens is, wait, do you or not?
Go ahead.
Okay, so procedurally, if you do not rescind, you go into a voting phase where you guys will vote on yes, we want to continue with the motion, or no, we do not want to continue with the motion. And then if yes, you vote for the motion. Cool? And everyone understand procedurally? I mean, it's pretty much just for him, really, because his motion. So, do you rescind, sir?
Yes.
Cool. Thank you. Alright, you're now back in discussion. Again, so what discussion really is, it's an open caucus. You can just raise your hand, talk whenever. You can also convert your caucus into a formulated guideline. So Mr. Romero, since you had your objection.
I guess this is more for you. What exactly had happened that were some people not able to get notice 48 hours in advance, or what had happened?
The way it looks to me is that I sent out an email on Tuesday, and then some people were added to the actual listserv on Thursday. And so the problem we had was we just got people's emails, like, because so the way we added people, the way we added you to our email list is we went onto Gmail and like our student emails, searched your name, and if we found people with Chris Johnson, it's kind of hard to narrow down which one I'm going to add to the listserv. So we hypothetically just went and added all of them. Now, it might not have registered all of that. I don't understand why not, but that's fine as well. And so Mr. Aldridge also went through and added them again on Thursday. I can see what the problem is that if I sent out an email on Tuesday, now Thursday people do not get that same email unless it was forwarded to them, but it might have been forwarded to them late. Mr. Johnson.
A point of clarification. Chris Johnson again. I don't know what happened in those numerous cases. In my particular case, and Mr. Aldridge, if he's still here, can attest to that. I was forwarded several of the emails because I wasn't included in the original list, but the one in particular that said I must register 48 hours in advance was not forwarded, just a casual mistake. So I had no knowing that there was a time limit on that.
Thanks, sir. Senator Williams.
Hello everybody, my name is Omar Williams. I'm coming back from last semester. Can I get a quick show of hands how many people are wanting to put their names in right now?
Well, you have to vote on it.
Yeah,
you just, who would want to if we did this?
Like if we were to suspend it right now, who's trying to do that? Just one, two, three.
Alright, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Ulloa.
I mean, unless we have any more discussion points, I think for the benefit of those that didn't get their name on because of emails, I would like to reinstate this motion to suspend ROP 10.1.4 to suspend the 48-hour rule.
Any objections? Cool. Well, I mean, again, it's better if we take a vote on it. So if you could just amend the motion to actually say, I'd like to vote to suspend said ROP to just make it more formal.
I would like to vote to suspend ROP 10.1.4.
Any objections to said vote motion? Seeing none, you're now moving into voting procedures. Is everyone ready?
Yeah.
Point 4.
And just let the record show that I don't have a clicker and I'll be verbally abstaining for all that matter. Alright. So yeah, again, don't talk during this period. You're not allowed to because you don't want to construe that you're trying to tell somebody, hey, make sure you vote yes. Like you don't want to do that. So the whole point is that don't talk while there's a clicker thing up. It's just an assumed protocol. Also, if you click 1 and you meant to click 2, you can click 2 and it'll override the 1. So the last button you click is the button that a register has. And as long as you see your name disappear, you voted. Or didn't. Alright, so everyone's good? With a vote count of 31 to 10 to 0, well to 1 in the abstaining, we have now overturned or suspended that ROP for the duration of this session. Alright. Any more questions about anything really? Everyone understands what all these positions are. Senator Gustavo.
From your point of view, could you clarify what you see different between Senate President and President Pro Tempore?
Sure. President Pro Tempore and President really, like, honestly, it depends on who fills those shoes because they're very heavily dedicated upon each other. Like very, I guess, you could have, if we switch roles, it would be if Adam was president. Adam still is a person who likes to do a lot of a lot of the groundwork. Like Adam loves that whole thing. That's beautiful in the whole sense that if that's what you love to do, that's what you love to do. As long as you make sure you're compatible with the person that you're elected with, or you can be compatible with the person you're elected with. Personally, I don't like this computer, especially. I don't like this computer at all. It honestly ruins my life. So, me being more of a going out and talking to people, that's what I like to do. So either you can construe that as President or President Pro Tempore. It's honestly however you see it. But just know that it's one pretty much inseparable position. Like Adam and I were pretty much inseparable in the fact that everything we wanted to do, we had to do it in one cohesive unit, or else it wouldn't make any sense. Like if I said one thing, he said another, it wouldn't make any sense. But then I could always take something, like if Adam said, hey, I can't do this today, can you do it? I'd be like, sure, that's fine. I can do vice versa. So again, they are what you make them. But the biggest key difference is that I chair this meeting and Adam chairs Senex.
And then just to follow up on top of that, would you say that one is more external than internal, or no?
No, it depends on how you make it again. Right. So like I could have been more internal, he could have been more external. It just turned out the way it was that I was internal. Any more questions? Everyone understands the relevancy of all these positions? Even the people who are wanting to run now that might not attend the info sessions. Again, the only two that are locked down are you must have served for at least one semester for both of these, but all these are all fair game. I mean, there's a big turnover. You all are able to, you know, if you can convey your message, I'd love to see you in one of these seats. Alright, anyone have any questions about how Senate functions? Anything else? Cool? Oh, presents. Okay. Alright. So what we'll do now is we'll move into the actual election cycle. The way this works is, I have the list of nominations, and then once I'm done with the sheet, I'll actually accept more nominations, but I won't go through all of them. I'll just go one person at a time to be the most fair. Once a person's nominated, they can say, I accept, or I respectfully decline that nomination. Again, respectfully decline if you don't want it, and then accept if you do. The way it all works is, whoever's running will come to the front. One person will go outside, one person will stay, or whoever. Only one person will be inside and they're presenting. Everyone will stand outside. So imagine if I was running for Senate President, I'd just come here, I'd have 5 minutes to present to you guys. Then you can't ask me questions individually. Your questions must be addressed to all nominees equally. So any question you have, whether it be like, you know, I have school Wednesdays, you can't really ask, what class is it? You can ask, how many credit hours do you both have? And I can say, you know, 14. The next person can say 17. But yeah, so I have 5 minutes. While people are outside, we do it so we're, you know, he doesn't branch off of my presentation, I don't branch off of his. Then you switch out, that person will come in, I will move outside. Again, you'll hear their presentation 5 minutes or so. Then once all presentations are over, so all nominees presented, they all come inside, they line up, and then in any order, really, you ask them questions. Questions are limited to however long you want to make them, so if you say, I want to ask a question, or actually you have set your page before, so you say like 1 minute to answer. Anyone can ask a question, they all have to respond within, you know, a minute time frame, and you just keep moving. At the end of all of it, you'll vote for whichever person you want. You must have a clear majority to win. You cannot have like, you know, 12 to 13 to 5. If that was something like, you know, it needs to be a clear majority plus 1, which, I mean, you'll know as soon as you get that one. What are my numbers? But yeah, so any questions about the whole the whole process? It's no different than your confirmation process, which you'll see with other people in the future. Everyone's comfortable. Everyone would have. If everyone wanted to run right now, they'd all understand what to do. And one thing, always think to yourself, something I just did, can I explain it to my constituents? So like people who elected you, if they ever asked you, you know, what did you do last night? Can you explain it to them in like a very fluid way? Like, could you explain to them exactly what happened tonight? Just make sure. So if you ever think that, hey, I couldn't explain what just happened, or I can't explain what we just talked about, ask a question about it again. All right? Cool. For Senate President, Mr. Abdulaziz, do you accept your nomination? Do you accept your nomination?
I accept.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Andy Rodriguez, do you accept your nomination?
I do accept.
Thank you, sir. Would anybody else like to nominate, since your pool is open? Seeing none, I'll take a motion to close the pool for Senate President. Mr.
Aladdin Hiba, Senator from the College of Arts and Sciences. I motion to close the poll for Senate President election.
Any objections to closing the nomination pool? Seeing none, it's now closed. If both of you, actually since Mr. Aziz, you were nominated first, if you could step forward, Mr. Rodriguez, if you could step out, if you could step outside. Again, you'll have 5 minutes to present, then switch out 5 minutes, and then however you guys want to handle the question for. Oh, it's in my email. Dang, I can't find it.
And David has to hang out.
Okay, so, while I'm typing, Mr. Hasuna.
Did you give everybody the opportunity to hand out stuff, correct? You told them they can all hand out papers?
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright.
Everyone's gonna hand out papers. Yeah, what else? Yeah, so, because we don't wanna be disruptive to the clerk who's typing, no, what? No. Because we're trying to, so what happens is this actual audio is minute for minute, word for word transcribed into a document. We don't wanna be rude to her or him in the fact that we're gonna start clapping about things we love and, snickering and stuff. So what we do in Senate is we actually snap. Snapping implies the same concept as a clap, but it's much quieter, so it's like a golf clap. But yeah, that's what Mr. Rodriguez wanted. Mr. Elo, I'm sorry.
Just a point of clarification for the Senate. If you guys are gonna step out to get water, to go to the bathroom or anything, please make sure you leave your clicker over here with Mr. Safe, and that way we know who's out at the time, so we can make sure we can count votes and everything.
And also for this term, we're trying to make it to where we can also clock when people went in and when people went out. Just food for thought, guys. Okay, I got it. Does anybody by chance have a charger so I can charge and also time people? It's a hot. Just because I'm 10% and you doing time. Thank you. Thank you. Alright, so once again, you'll have 5 minutes to present, with 1 tap of the gavel at 1 minute, 2 taps at 30 seconds, and 3 taps when you're done. You'll have about 5 seconds or so to wrap up once your gavel passes. Sir, any questions? Any questions from anybody? Alright, you can start whenever you want.
Alright, good evening everyone. First of all, congratulations and welcome to the 55th term. My name is Abdul Aziz and I'm running for Senate President. A little bit about myself. I'm a first-year graduate student in the Global Communicable Diseases major in the College of Public Health. Thank you very much. In the summer, I'm taking 6 credits, and in the fall, 12 credits. I have a very flexible open schedule since most of my classes are online. And a little bit about my qualifications. Currently, I was the Judicial and Ethics Chairman, and before that, I was the Community and Government Affairs Chair. And for 2 years, I was lucky enough to be on the Activity and Services Recommendation Committee, which does a $14.6 million budget. And before that, most recently, I did the Student Memorial Ad Hoc Committee, which is currently being built, and served on several ad hoc committees. And around campus, I have a well-balanced leadership and volunteer positions across campus from CLC to CSI, volunteering to New Student Connections. I also trained for about 2 months for the Senate President position, learning as much as I can from from the administration, from Sean, from David. So I learned a lot. My vision is a better student government, one that is more transparent and more just, one that provides greater opportunities for the student body. So my initiatives for the 55th term. First one is transparency. The YouTube Live that's happening right now was my idea with the help of the CFO. We got it done. So I'd like to expand that to other branches and other committees. I want to reform the financial policies, make ourselves more open for inspection, and increase collaborations with different parts of SG. Next is education and empowerment, with myself and Ali Akhtar being the most experienced senators remaining. I would like to share my experiences with hands-on senator trainings and have a big little mentorship program. And also provide a lot of opportunities to grow, to get positive points, and create a more of a democratic open atmosphere like we had in 55th term. Moving on, advancement. I really want to focus on strategic initiatives and goals, something that CFO and I have been really trying to do this year. And another idea is once a month to have a Senate meeting dedicated to senators from each college coming up with issues, and then translating those issues to the dean of each respective college, since we are senators representing those people. We want to expand audits to all senators, not just appropriations audits committee. I started the SG Leadership Speaker Series. We want to expand that for the semester, have a wide variety of speakers for the Senate. Expand outreach, and expand collaboration between Greek life, multicultural, leadership engagement, student involvement. This year we have the largest Greek community, 24 out of 49 elected, which is something you guys should be proud of. And I want to collaborate because usually I talk to Scott, former vice president, some of the issues. So I like to work on those and work with everyone, including CSI. And finally, marketing. Student government does a lot of good things, and I want to market that in social media better. Because one thing I started was marketing the committee, the JC committee and Senate. So I want to continue that and build upon that. And why would you vote for me? I can form relationships and strengthen with the administration. I'm very familiar with the way the university works, and I've been to many meetings and I'm up to date with all issues. And next is I'm confident. I have a lot of experience sharing, and I can definitely command a meeting. Next is creative. I love to think of out of the box ideas. Some of the inspiration I draw is from Sean, a very big idea person. So I like to draw that, and from Adam, he's a very detailed, dedicated person. So I like to use those leadership styles for my experience. Next, I have a lot of experience that I want to share to the body. And two more aspects, I'm very hardworking. Whatever the task is, I can get it done. And dedicated. Whether it's 4 o'clock in the morning for rally and tally or staying till midnight with the budget, I'm the one that you can count on. And finally, I'm very passionate. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't passionate.
And 3.
So I'm very passionate about this position. I've learned a lot, I've worked hard for it. I've challenged myself. I've been able to work with other people, and I would be really honored if elected your Senate President. And thank you very much.
If you would let Mr. Rodriguez, please.
Yeah, I think that was
Alright, same concept, you'll have did you email it to my student email or to this one?
I think it's your
USF. But yeah, so you'll have 5 minutes to present. you have it anywhere else? By any chance?
I have it on my computer.
If you could, here's a. You have flash drive? I don't want to actually. So if you know you're running or nominating yourself or something, just make sure you have something sent to me. My email again is Sham C. Patel, SHYAM CPATEL @usm.edu. Make sure you just send it to me. I'll leave my email thing open. I just want to do that because it's kind of awkward. That's it. My apologies. And it's the bottom two.
Yeah.
Alright, so again, you'll have 5 minutes to present. At 4 minutes, you'll get 1 gavel. With a minute left, you'll get 1 gavel. With 30 seconds remaining, you get 2 gavels. And once you're done, you'll get 3 gavels to be out, but you'll have 5 seconds to wrap up. Questions?
Nope.
Alright, and then you also have, here, this is great. You have the clicker. Your 5 minutes will begin as soon as you start.
Okay, good evening, Senate. My name is Andy Rodriguez, and I'm a senator for the College of Engineering, and I'm running to be your Senate President. Oh, okay. Oops. All right, a little bit about myself. I'm a senior studying chemical engineering, with a minor in leadership studies. Some of my leadership experiences for the Office of Orientation, I served as an orientation team leader, as well as a group facilitator. For the Center for Leadership and Civic Engagement, I served as a lead fellow consultant, which is a firm that helps student organizations with any problems they may be having. I also served as a Stampede of Service and Gandhi Day of Service site leader for 2 years. Currently, for Housing and Residential Education, I am a resident assistant / community manager. That will be ending my tenure at the end of the summer. For my fraternity, Sigma Phi Epsilon, I served as the vice president for a year, the chaplain, which is the head of the standards board for a year. I'm currently director of philanthropy. For the Interfraternity Council, I served as the director of scholarship, and I also attended the Anti-Hazing Task Force Summit at the University of Florida on a grant from the council. For the Alumni Association, I'm currently one of the newest USF ambassadors and a new inductee of the Order of the Golden Bronco. Lastly, student government. I'm a second-term senator for the College of Engineering. Last fall, I served on the University Community and Governmental Affairs Committee, and this past spring, I served on the Special Funding Committee. I also attended USF Day at the Capitol, and I've attended both Senate Executive Board meetings and Faculty Senate meetings. So, the first thing that I'm showing you here is one of my calendars. I've been extremely involved my last 4 years here at USF, and this is something that I'm really proud of, and it's the ability to organize what I do. Everything's color-coded, and I spend a lot of time doing this. And I think as president, with meetings and all the different commitments that you have, it's important that you're an organized student. I bet that you guys are wondering, with all my commitments, how am I going to make time for this position? Well, for summer, I'm taking 1 class on Mondays and Wednesdays, and my only other commitment is bi-weekly Senate meetings. And then in the fall, I'm taking 3 classes in person, 1 online. And
I'm done by 4:45. The only other commitment I have is ambassador meetings, Tuesday at 5, and I'm hoping that if I'm elected, whoever I work with for Pro Tempore, they can help set up, and I'll show up probably 5-10 minutes before the meeting to put any finishing touches before the meeting starts. So some of the ideas I have for the future of Senate, the first thing is I'd like to give a more detailed report as president on what exactly it is that I would be doing between different meetings I may be attending or what's going on outside of Senate. Another thing that I would like to do is help start a new audit rewarding program where it'll be similar to the positive points now, but it'll be every month the senator with the most audits gets a prize of some sort. Something else that I would like to do is look into buying some new technology for the secretary and the clerk to help them transcribe minutes from Senate meetings as well as committee meetings. And the last thing would be creating a Senate retreat. I think this would be a good opportunity for the new senators to get to know a little bit more about Senate and to get to know the rest of the senators a lot better. My last slide, the reasons you should elect me. The first reason is I'm dedicated. Everything I've ever gotten involved in, I've given it 110%. And it's something that I'm proud of, and it's something that I'm looking forward to doing in Senate. Organization, as I showed you guys earlier, I'm extremely organized in everything I do, and you can count on the fact that I'll be organized within the Senate. Integrity, something that I didn't really touch on before, but as chaplain in my fraternity, one of the members in my organization did something that he wasn't supposed to, and I knew it was best for him to be removed from the organization, even though I knew a lot of people in the chapter didn't want it, but I knew it was best for him and what was best for the organization, and I was forced to remove him. And that's something that I don't mind doing because I'm a man of high integrity. I do my best to do that. The last thing is experience. I've been experienced in many different things around campus, and I've also taken the time to really get to know what the position entails with a meeting with Adam and Sham. And yeah, please vote for me. Thank you.
Please. Alright, so now essentially what we do is we move into a question and answer period. I'll take a motion to do that as soon as, and also the way it usually works is whoever motions to move the forum or opens the forum, they usually talk first because obviously they have the first reason, as well as you just name your time frame. So for questions, you can limit it to like 1 minute responses, 10-minute responses, 1 hour responses, however you guys feel fit, whatever you feel most comfortable with. And again, I'll take this motion from a new person since it's a very general motion. I'll wait all day. You've already talked to me. If you just stand, say your name.
Samuel Shiflett, College of Engineering. Motion to open a question and answer session with 1 minute time limit on answers.
Sure. Any objection? And again, an objection could be a friendly amendment, which is I'd like to friendly amend, or I'd like to propose, like 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes, something like 1.5 minutes. So those are all things you could also propose as well. Any objections for the 1 minute time period, Mr. Yusuf? You stand, okay.
I object. Can we extend the time to 2 minutes per question?
It's just a friendly amendment of 2 minutes. That way it doesn't feel rude. Do you accept his?
I accept.
Thank you. Any objections to a 2 minute answer period for questions? That's 2 minutes per person. Seeing none. All right, then. All right. So what we'll do is, I'll just alternate back and forth. The question, one of them will answer. The next person will answer. Then the next question, the same person will answer. That way it comes back and forth. That way not the same person goes first and will answer 3 times. All right. Floor's open to questions. And every question is a good question. Mrs. Plum, if you can just stand, say your name again. I know you, but get clarified on that.
Senator Trom, what changes or improvements would you like to see from the 54th term to the 55th term?
Mr. Azul.
Alright, going back to my platform, first thing would be increased transparency with expanding the live stream to other branches like the court, and for more transparency, But moving on, one of the things that I want to focus on is because we are pro tempore is leaving, and he's like the more of like education person. So I would really want to focus on hands-on training for each person, since that's the best way to learn in my experience, is to have hands-on training for each person. And also it'll focus on strategic initiatives and strategic goals, such as something like the memorial. Like that's something that's strategic, that student government doesn't have strategy, so that's something I really want as an improvement, to have more strategy and more initiatives. One thing also is to market ourselves better, and I started that with my committee in JEC. I want to expand it to Senate, because it's been successful in my committee. I just want to expand it so all students will know like the Senate, what we do, and it'll be on Facebook, and we'll be able to have a wider array for our constituents to hear us out. And also another initiative is more outreach. We've had 10 days, but in the past we've had town halls and forums. I want to have different forums with different student organizations, leadership, some forms of administration, and just have let's just be talking to more people and getting more feedback.
30 seconds.
And in addition, since we are representative of each college, we should represent those issues and gather those issues and relay them back to the students of your college and to the dean. It's something that's really underutilized that I can really really work on, and we can make it a successful endeavor.
Thanks.
Can you repeat your question, please?
What changes and improvements would you like to see from the 54th term to the 55th term?
Okay, the first thing, like I said in my presentation, would be to start a Senate retreat. I think we don't have enough opportunities to get to know each other and to create bonds outside of just being in the office. And it also gives new senators a way to get more comfortable with Senate meetings and learning what Senate actually is. Some other things that I'd like to see is finding more ways to get more senators involved. Something that I really like is, the whole vice chair position that we have now, and like making sure that those positions are used more and get more of a chance to like grow as leaders. That's about it.
Thanks, sir. Questions? Senator?
Call to business. So, how would you increase collaboration between the different branches of the student government as the senator and president?
Okay. Ms. Rogers, you have 2 minutes, and again, just trying to clarify earlier, 30 seconds, 1 tap, 15 seconds, 2 taps, 3 taps, each one. Ms. Rogers.
Okay. As of right now, I don't really, as a senator, I never hear about the Juice and X meetings. So I definitely think that's something that should be more broadcasted to every senator. That way they get the opportunity to come and speak their opinions, not only to the leaders of their branch, but the other branches. And yeah, that's
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Rizzi.
Alright, in terms of collaboration, I have a lot of experience with that. The most recent example I can give you is the Student Memorial Committee. When it first formed, it was mostly senators, and it didn't include other branches, so I lobbied to reform it with equal representation from each branch. And each branch did their own part, and we all worked together. So we had myself doing design, we had the executive branch doing like fiscal analyzing, and the judicial branch doing alumni relations. So we all work together and collaborate. You have to talk to people. That's like, there's no fear in talking. We're all here for the common goal of making the student body a better place. So that's an example of positive collaboration. Another collaboration is with our student government agencies. Not a lot of people talk to them, so I want to collaborate more with them. Just talk to them and market their services, because they do a great service for the university. And it's as simple as talking to them. I've gotten a lot accomplished by just having a very casual conversation and just building on those ideas. Like also like the YouTube live, that was just something I found online and then just ran with it with help from the CFO. And now we have more views than any other streams. We used to have Ustream. So I mean, it's just simple as talking. In terms of Juice NX, that's a good way to collaborate. And also talking to your constituents and talking to each branch. So it's just simple as working together.
Thank you, sir.
your biggest accomplishment so far in the Senate?
Mr. Aziz.
That's a tough question for me, but I can list off a few that are all equal par. So first, when I first started at JAC, there was a big problem with student organizations downstairs on the third floor with the constitutions. Things were inconsistent. There was no paperwork that was properly done. So I reformed the whole system, created a template. So any student org doesn't have to go through the hassle of making, figuring out the checklist and figuring out their constitution. They have a template available to them. And that has helped a lot of the interim organizations, and it's really sped up the process in CSM. Another thing would be, in terms of legislation, I've definitely taken it upon myself to read all legislation, learn how to write it, learn myself, and reformed most of the chapters. So they're very old, so I reformed it so it's actively representative of our practices. So, and another one would be, I want to go back on the student memorial, but that was really a difficult task that executive branches years have passed have failed to do, and they were not able to do it. But it shows you that with hard work and determination, that you can do what was failed years ago, and that we just had the groundbreaking Thursday. So you just have to really work really hard. So those are all summary of accomplishments for the year.
Thanks, sir. Mr. Rodriguez.
Okay, I would say my two biggest accomplishments would definitely have to be attending USFA at the Capitol and getting to lobby for more money for the university. I think, that's one of the most important things, just getting funding from the state and making sure our university continues to prosper. The second thing was actually getting to serve my constituents. A lot of engineering organizations don't really understand how student government works and how the funding works. And as of right now, I've worked with FES, AICHE, SWE, the Society of Hispanic and Professional Engineers, and have gotten a workshop going with all of them, with the president at least, on how to request, special event grants and filling out paperwork.
So, what is the extent of your knowledge of statutes, and have you written or edited?
I've familiarized myself with every statute, especially Title IV and Title VII, and I've never written a statute for student government, but I have written and revised bylaws for other organizations.
So in terms of statutes, I know them all from 1 to 10. I've read them all and rewrote most of them, made changes as needed. It's something that we as student government, we should be doing, reading, because there are a lot of things in there that are really old and really important, like our Ethics Act and Title II, and I rewrote the judicial branch, their Title V, I read Title IV, Title III, the executive branch and hiring, Title II, members and powers, and even down to Title X for the bureaus. I read them and I ask for feedback. I don't just go make changes. I ask and ask around. So what will be the best? Because our statutes are a representation of student government, and we should do our best to make them as accurate as possible. And I've written many pieces of legislation and collaborated with Pro Tempore and other people to write legislation.
Question? You can stand your name.
Senator Melange, College Business. Do you see any problems with our current statutes, any specific areas that you want to address or try and get us as the Senate to address as Senate President?
Alright, so last couple days ago, we just passed the most Title VI updating. So the one right now that is an issue that we need to really work on is Title VII, because we had the Title VII ad hoc committee, which proposed changes. So it's now, as a Senate, since all of you are senators, you guys may have noticed problems when we're running that I would have noticed. So I would want to get your feedback, everyone's feedback of all the issues we saw, and then add that to the Title VII reform bill. That would be something I would want to focus on. And also to update our hiring procedures for the executive branch. Sometimes it's a little vague, and over the years it gets looked over. I just want to really streamline it so when employees get hired, they really know what to expect. And overall, Title VII will be the main focus, and right in the beginning of our Senate term, something we would really work on.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Similar to what Aziz said, I think the biggest problems and statutes we have right now are in Title VII. I know a lot of people have heard different things about the drama that's been happening in student government, and I think had some of these things been worked on before all of this, we could have avoided it. Yeah, that's all.
Questions? Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, Arts and Sciences. How would you say your experiences in organizations outside of student government, and specifically leadership positions in those organizations, could be carried over to the position of Senate President?
Thanks. I believe Mr. Rodriguez.
As Senate President, you do meet with various different people from different departments, and I think it's important to have built some relationships outside of just student government in order to work well with them. That's what I think. Yeah.
Thanks, Senator Ruiz.
So in terms of like outside of student government experience, I would say my most recent one is Houston Connections. I was a network leader, and my main goal were to transition freshmen that are straight out of high school into the university. And my network was the Traditions Network, so at least once a week I'd have my freshmen would do like little meetings, ask about their life, their goals, and keep track of them. Be like their mentor, and keep track of them. We'd go to events together and really have them bond so they feel that they're a bull at this university. So, and those people that were in my network and other networks are now in Senate, like Jessica, and they're in leadership, they're in fraternities and sororities. So I've definitely learned a lot from that experience. And also another experience is I do a lot of volunteer experience. Like I volunteered at Moffitt for a few years. I learned all that, taking care of patients and checking out people. And in terms of other outside experience, I learned from my parents' company, like real estate, law, and all these different things. So, and also another leadership experience. I used to volunteer for a campus activities board. Just whenever they have events, just to help out. So I mean, all those things are independent, are great experiences, but together it balances out my leadership style. Because I'm more, my philosophy is servant leadership. We're gonna serve first. So, that's it.
Thursday.
So, with that, I like to get involved in different areas on campus and learn more. I'm not like singly just in government, so I like to spread out, learn different things.
Senator anything? Again, just state your name.
Hassan College of Business. Could you have a motion to end question answer?
Are there more questions? Yes. I will not accept your motion. Senator Lopez.
Just a follow-up to the question that was asked before. So if you were to be Senate President, you're voicing the needs of the student body to the administrators. What experience do you have both with communication with the student body and also with the administration of the university?
Mr. Aziz.
So in terms of outreach, when I was the government affairs chair, 10 days were my thing. Pretty much every single other week we'd go out, talk to students, do surveys. Going to Tallahassee, Capitol Day, I've done that multiple years. Group leader. In terms of talking to students, I talk to students regularly. Just different student organizations will ask me questions. Like today, a student work came in, wanted to do a transfer request. So pretty much explain the whole budget process to them. Very approachable. And in terms of like student work, I treat them all equal, give them all the same information. Don't want to be biased towards all of them. An example of an issue would be the library. It was a library experience. So we all I sent out emails to people that I knew and my organizations that I'm familiar with. So we all worked together to pretty much make a united stance of student government when the library issue happened in the beginning of the year.
Senator Rodriguez.
Can you repeat the question?
It's pretty much geared towards what is your experience communicating with the student body so that you can see their needs and then go and communicate with administrators and relate to that?
Okay, so the first thing that comes to mind for me is serving as an orientation team leader 2 summers ago. I got to meet tons of first year students and really get to learn about what their concerns are coming into college. And through that, I also got to meet many different administrators. Almost every week we'd have somebody new, somebody different come into our class, and we get to kind of have like a powwow with them. I was also on the homecoming court, and through being on the homecoming court, I got to meet tons of different people like Sujit, who's the director of the Marsh Student Center. I got to meet Miss Gio, again, I'm blanking out, but the head of the Alumni Association. I got to meet Bill McCausland, who's the director. I got to meet the provost and the vice provost during my time, as well as Dr. Genshaw.
Thanks, sir. Senator Trump.
How do you plan on maintaining or increasing Senate member attendance?
Well, I don't know. I think getting more people involved will make people want to be here. For example, with the audits, maybe incentivizing audits more, I think it could be something that's fun and exciting and something we can do towards the end of Senate meetings. But keeping it brief, just getting guys more involved.
And Senator
For senator retention, one thing that we should definitely expand upon is the senator incentive program, which has been very successful this year since it was more organized. And another thing that I would definitely do is provide more opportunities to senators to get points and to get involved. There are lots of things on campus that are happening. There's lots of opportunities that occur, whether it's from athletics or from CSI or from the provost office or Dean Freeman or Dr. Miller. There are lots of opportunities. I want to definitely convey that to the Senate and have that opportunity available for everyone to grow.
Senator Yusuf. If you can again just state your name.
My name is Ahmed Yusuf. I'm Senator of College of Arts and Science. If you guys have so many initiatives, why haven't you guys tried to implement it?
Mr. Aziz?
Okay. So in terms of initiatives, for my position in JC, I had a different set of initiatives, and some of them I started. My PowerPoint, I want to grow those initiatives and have them flourish, make them a tradition. So I have started most of those initiatives. And I created new initiatives because I like to challenge myself and try new things. And I feel that at the Senate, we can always improve and always change. So I want to expand the current initiatives that I started and start new endeavors and goals so we can accomplish that together in the Senate.
Okay, so the reason that I haven't had a chance to start the initiatives that I'd like to start is because this is only my second year in Senate, and I pretty much spent my first year getting to know how everything works between the different committees. But now that I understand, the groundwork of Senate and how to actually accomplish things, I'm ready to give these initiatives 100%.
Senator Brown, and you state your name.
Do you feel like you're skilled enough or, strong enough to chair Senate?
Senator Rodriguez.
Absolutely. I've had to chair meetings that are much more disorganized and hard to control in the Senate. And I don't mind being the person that has to tell someone that they're out of line, or that they need to be quiet, or that they need to leave, because I've done it before.
And Senator Rodriguez.
So I have a lot of experience chairing the Judicial Ethics Committee. Definitely very well versed in Robert's Rules of Order, knowing all the motions and all the intricacies of chairing a committee. It's not as easy as it looks, because you have to remember everyone's name, follow and ask for motions, and remember your protocol. And I have a lot of experience doing that, and a lot of experience commanding a meeting, and definitely keeping the meeting on track. Make sure everyone is following their proper rules of order. I'm not afraid to gavel someone that is out of order, but I'm willing to definitely teach them. If they're since new senators, it's okay to make mistakes. It's a learning experience, so I'll definitely keep that in mind when chairing.
You can just take it.
Ryan Miller, Senator of College of Arts and Sciences.
you plan on expediting the process of getting to know all of the new senators here?
So one initiative that I started was the Facebook group for all new senators. It's a casual way for us to get to know each other, and most people don't check their US email, and Facebook is another method we use. It's a group is open to anyone to discuss issues, to talk. I usually post reminders about Senate so you guys can learn things. That's one way for us to know each other. And also, we do have a plunge retreat for all student government. We've also had Senate retreat in the past where we went to the beach. Those are ways for us to know each other. Plus, we usually do one-on-ones. You can work in groups in your committees to get to know each other. And a favorite of mine that I started in my committee is icebreakers for each meeting, where we just go around and do a light icebreaker like what you did last weekend, your favorite movie. That's the way to definitely learn who your senators are. And also just stopping by the office and just talking to us. I mean, talk to each other. I mean, that's pretty much what we have. Like, there's various methods that we can talk, but we'll definitely get to know each other pretty well.
Thanks, sir. Senator Rodriguez.
Like I said, like I said on one of my slides, something that I would like to bring back is a Senate-only retreat, where all the senators get to come together for an entire night, maybe like 6 or 7 hours, and really get to know each other better. A majority of the time there would be spent doing activities, and having fun with each other, just so that way when it comes to actual meetings, we can work, we can feel more comfortable with each other. And a little bit of that time would also be spent, learning more about each other.
My name is Kevin Madden, College of Arts and Sciences. If the candidates could please articulate for me their role in the recent election and impeachment drama.
I was one of the sponsors for the impeachment memo, just because I felt that some of the some of the allegations warranted an investigation, and that was all my fault.
Thank you, sir. Senator Ricci.
So I was the other sponsor out of the three for the same memo.
Thank you, sir. Senator Johnson.
I was going to motion to move into voting procedures.
Is there any objections to this motion? And it's not really voting procedures, I guess, discussion, but that's fine.
Move the previous question.
So, I guess that is an objection, so you rescind any motions, or any questions, anything. Senator Harper.
Move to go into discussion.
Sure, any objection to moving into discussion? And if you just name your quorum while these gentlemen step out.
3 endorsements on both parts, 1 minute time next.
Alright, the only thing I'd just say is, since you guys aren't really familiar with the whole process, before you even accept the motion for the actual endorsement. So what endorsements are, you can only talk and quote the person you're picking to endorse. You also have the option of moderated caucus, where you can talk about whatever you want in terms of a position. So if you still want to understand the position, understand the rules. But yeah, it's something year to year. We didn't talk about anybody, but again, that's a decision we made consensually as a Senate. Same thing with you guys. You could choose to make the same decision. But that's the only reason why we use the actual endorsements. You can move into pro con. You can move into not pro con, but it'd be a moderated caucus where you could talk about each respective person as if they were a bill or as if they were an amendment, essentially. But yeah, so his recommendation. So does everyone understand what I'm trying to get at? If you're in endorsements, you only have that allotted time to endorse. You can't really ask questions to each other or ask questions to anybody. You're just endorsing to get it. Cool. All right. And with that, Mr. Hartman, do you have a motion? Do you have a motion? Does anyone have a motion? Like anything at all? Like would you like to go to